Welcome to our Christmas play, The Polar Express.
On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I would never hear. The ringing bells of Santa's sleigh.
There is no Santa,
My friend had insisted, but I knew she was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. Stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest, then he looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and my robe, and I tiptoed down the stairs and out the door.
all aboard!
The conductor cried out, so I ran up to him.
Well, are you coming? Where? Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express.
I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols. With nugget centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon, there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed. And white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. Can we try that one more time, rabbits? Ella, leave your shoes. Leave your shoes. And white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high, it seemed as if we would scrape the moon.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
But the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountains turned into hills and the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea.
There is the North Pole.
The North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us.
That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who gets the first gift of Christmas?
We asked, and the conductor answered,
He will choose one of you. Look, the elves.
Outside, we saw hundreds of Santa's elves.
Santa's elves, filling Santa's shelves. With the toys wonder, oh, we are Santa's elves.
As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed down to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped, and the conductor let us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses.
Cupid and Donner and Blitzen.
It was a magical sound like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart, and Santa Claus appeared.
Ho, ho, ho!
He marched over to us, and pointing to me, he said,
Let's have this fellow here.
The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee, and he asked,
What would you like for Christmas? I know I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most was a silver sleigh bell from Santa's sleigh.
When I asked Santa, he smiled, and he gave me a hug. He told an elf to cut a bell from the reindeer's harness. The elf gave it to Santa. Santa stood holding the bell high above him, and he called out,
The first gift of Christmas!
A clock struck midnight as the elves roared with their approval.
Yay, Santa! Yay, Santa! Yay, Santa!
Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeer's name and cracked his whip.
On Dasher and Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, come to Cupid, go and listen.
His team charged forward and climbed into the air. They circled once above us and disappeared into the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole.
I lost that silver sleigh bell. Let's hurry and look for it,
Said one of the children. But the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home.
It broke my heart to lose that bell.
When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and I waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him.
What?
I yelled. He cupped his hands around his mouth and shouted,
Merry Christmas!
The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one small box behind the tree and it had my name on it.
This is for you.
And inside was a silver bell, and there was a note.
That is on my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C.
I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said,
Oh, that's too bad.
and my father said,
It's broken.
when I'd shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them.
Silent night.
Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me as it does for all those who truly believe. Come on, Miss Riggs. You've been behind the curtain the whole time. On behalf of Miss Riggs and myself and kindergarten here at Cosgriff, we wish all of you Merry Christmas and a great vacation. And they did a wonderful job. We're very proud of them.